Okay guys, welcome to part 2 of our Kandinsky painting. I hope you really enjoyed part 1 where we made this really fun, crazy background based on music that we heard. I did show you how to paint using markers and foil, or using watercolor or any other type of paint you have in the house will work. Just make sure you pick paper that's heavy enough to hold your paint. If you don't have any heavy paper, like I said, computer paper will work, but you'll probably want to do the marker or watercolor, not anything too heavy. So after watching this video that you're watching right now, you're going to go to the next slide and it'll look like this. It's going to say what you'll need, part 2, and it'll tell you what things you're going to need before you get started on your background. So you're going to need your background, of course, or if you didn't paint it, you're going to have your colored background. The second thing you'll need are some construction paper, some colorful paper, or if you don't have that, white paper that you color yourself will work too. You're also going to need scissors to cut shapes out. You'll need glue to glue them down, either a glue stick or liquid glue, or maybe both. The next things on the list are optional. So you might want a circle shape, something that has a circle shape that you can trace, like this tape, for example. I could trace the inside or the outside to get some nice circle shapes, or the lid of something, anything that will make a circle shape. So you might want some stencils. If you have stencils at home that have shapes in them, like squares, triangles, rectangles, that would be really cool too. You might want to also use a ruler if you want to make sure your edges are really straight when you draw them. Again, you don't have to, but you could if you wanted. You could also use yarn, string, or anything else that you can bend. I don't have yarn or string, but I have pipe cleaners. These are fuzzy, little furry pieces of wire that are colorful that I can bend and shape whatever direction I want. So that's another option of something you could have. Another option is you could get coloring materials too. Some of the shapes you do could be done with color, not with paper. And you could use crayons, oil pastels, marker, whatever. I have some nice oil pastels here because I love how bright they are and how they show up super bright on almost anything. And then the last thing you'll need is this link to the classical music choices, just like we did for the last part. Now, before I go to that and show you that, I'm going to show you what the next slide is. You're going to bring this up first. Make sure you have your music ready to go so you can make some choices just like we did in the first one. And then you're going to go back to the slide. Okay, so I can go back to it at the top of the screen. There's a tab. I can go back to the slide and I can click and see the next thing. Here is the rules for the shapes. After you pick your music and it starts playing, this is going to tell you what shapes you need in your design. You could draw some of these. You could make some of them using your pipe cleaner or string or yarn. You could cut some of them out of paper to make these shapes. You can do whatever color, whatever size, and put them wherever you want. The only rule is that you have to have all of them in there. So read how many you need and make sure that they're in that picture at the end. So I'm going to go super fast so you can see how I'm cutting and getting all my parts ready, and then we'll talk about where I'm going to put them together. So at this point, you guys are going to have cut out a bunch of different shapes, maybe. I, of course, like I said, did different colors so that they would look really different and fun. If you don't have any colored paper, you could, before you cut them out, you could color them with marker or crayon or whatever you want, and then cut them out so you have some different colors to play with. I made sure while I was cutting it that I had the right number from that list I showed you. Sometimes I had more. Like the first item in the list is you need 5 circles. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles. I made sure I had at least 4 squares and rectangles, that I have at least 3 triangles. I ended up with 4. And then I didn't do anything really for straight lines. I did cut out a few of these strips, and I do have a few pipe cleaners nearby, but I'm planning on maybe drawing some of those straight lines and also drawing some of those curved and zigzag lines too. So I'm not worrying too much about having the right number. I might even cut these down a little bit and change the shape as I go along, because this final step, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing this based on, again, music that you're listening to. It could be the same songs you listen to make the background, which could be really nice because then you're keeping the theme, or you could pick different songs and do something different on the top, and that's fine too. Just remember things like what we did with the painting. If it's a happy, bright, soft song, you might want to do a lot of swirls or bright, happy colors. If it's a little bit sort of scary and dark sounding, you might want darker colors or sharper, straighter lines. So think about that as you work. So guys, I decided to listen to the same music I listened to again so that I could kind of have the same mood happening as I did before. So I'm starting with that morning song that was this side, and I'm going to kind of do some designs over here that match the music I'm hearing. And if you have anything that's drawn and has pencil marks on it, you don't like that, you can always flip it over and glue it down that way. That's another way of hiding your mistakes. So like I said, this makes me think of the morning, so I think I'm going to pick this and kind of make it like almost a sun, I think that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I'm going to do first, and then I think I'm going to maybe add some of these to make some of these spirals look 3D. So I'll be working on that while you're listening. So there I have sort of my sun shape now. And when I put something thick and heavy like this, I'm not going to be able to use a glue stick. I'm probably going to have to use some liquid glue for that to make it really stick and stand. So I might want to trace a swirl, or I might want to do a new swirl of my own or something different. So I'm going to just come up with some cool spiral shape. And I'm going to work on trying to get this to get glued down also. It's easier if it's a string because it lays flat. This doesn't want to lay flat very well. So you can either put it on the actual object, or you could glue the paper first and then put this on top of it. Remember, anything you glue is going to go dry clear. So I'm going to put that right there. That would be considered a curvy line. So that would be one of my curvy lines. So I'm going to finish up on this side. You're not going to hear the music playing, but I'm going to finish up on this side. Then we're going to switch to the other side. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with this side. I did two swirly, so two curvy lines. I have all my triangles down. I have two of my circles. I still have a few more circles to get down, but I think I might do some circles over here too. But remember, I can also draw some things too. So if I want to take this and I can draw on top of something I already did. It was kind of hard to see. I thought that would show up a little bit better. That's okay. Maybe I'll switch to a white, and maybe I'll do another. Ooh, that shows up really nicely. I'll do another spiral in there. So just putting a couple spirals inside of a shape could be cool. I can put some straight lines in some parts too, just to make some fun patterns. So think about different things you could do after you glue some stuff down that could still make it kind of special, maybe using a coloring material. But again, you don't have to use coloring materials. That's an option. Now I'm going to switch over to the darker side so I can think about things that I want to add for that. Keeping in mind, I still need to get some squares in, or rectangles, and I still need to get a few more circles, curved lines, zigzag lines, straight lines. I haven't done any of that yet, so I still got to figure that out. But again, I'm going to be listening to my music while I do that, so I can kind of be thinking about that while I'm doing. So I'm going to go back to that really fun Mountain King song that's kind of a little bit scary, kind of fun. And then from there we will have the next stuff. So I think while the music's getting ready and getting queued up, I think I'm just going to add some of these pieces to different parts. And then that way I have some places to put some stuff. I think I'll put these dots kind of going like that. And I think I might change. I might put some straight lines in there later too. And I'm at the part right now where the music is kind of quiet and not very exciting yet, but it's going to get exciting real fast. So I think I'm just going to get some of these pieces down until I get to the exciting part. Maybe I'll switch to some crayons. And I liked my dotted line idea, but we need some zigzags here, and zigzags I think would be great for this side because it makes me think of scary things like do do do. So I think I'm going to do zigzags here. Zigzags make me think of like things that are a little bit scary. And this is that part that's getting a little bit louder. Maybe I'll do some right on the paper. So that's 2 zigzags. I still need 1 more. That was in the rules. So maybe I'll do it somewhere else. Let's see, where else would be good? Maybe I'll do some connecting these shapes. That looks kind of fun. Makes me think of like lightning a little bit. I did that all in black. Let's see. Could use some more straight lines. Maybe this could be for the loud parts. Alright guys, so I think that I'm actually very happy with a lot of things happening here. So what I'm going to do at this point, before I keep going, is I'm going to check and make sure I have everything that I need to have in my design. So this is the time I would go back to my list and I would say, okay, 5 circles. Do I have 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh, where's my, 5th. I missed the biggest one. Then I would ask myself, okay, do I have enough curvy lines, zigzag lines, straight lines? And I would keep going until I made sure I had everything done.